One day, you feel close to Allah. Your prayers feel real. Your heart feels soft. You listen to something and it actually affects you. You feel motivated, focused, connected, and in that moment you think to yourself, this is it. I finally fixed myself. But then, something changes. Not suddenly, not dramatically, just quietly. The next day you wake up, and it's not the same. Your prayers feel heavier. Your focus isn't there. That connection you felt yesterday feels distant today, and you can't explain it because nothing major happened. You didn't make a big mistake. You didn't suddenly change everything. But something inside you feels different, weaker, colder, more distracted. And you sit there wondering, what happened to me? How did I go from feeling so close to feeling like this? And the most confusing part is, this keeps happening again and again and again. You have moments where your Imaan feels strong, moments where everything makes sense, moments where you feel like you're finally on the right path. And then out of nowhere, it drops. And you're back to feeling empty, unmotivated, disconnected, like you've lost something you can't even explain. And over time, this starts to frustrate you because you don't understand it. You start thinking something is wrong with you. You start thinking you're inconsistent, weak, maybe even fake. Because how can someone feel so close one moment and so distant the next? But here's what you don't realize. This is not random. This is not something happening to you without a reason. There is a pattern behind it, a cause behind it. And once you understand it, everything starts to make sense. Because Imaan was never meant to stay at one level. It rises and it falls. But the way it rises and the way it falls is not accidental. It's connected to something. Something most people overlook. Something small but powerful. And until you understand that, you will keep repeating the same cycle. Feeling strong, then weak. Close, then distant. Motivated, then empty. Without ever knowing why. And that's what keeps you stuck. Not the drop itself, but not understanding the reason behind it. So what is actually causing this? Why does your Imaan feel so strong one day and so weak the next? It's not random. It's not just mood, and it's definitely not because you're fake. There are real reasons behind it, and most of them are small, so small that you don't even notice them. But they build up, quietly. One of the biggest reasons is what happens between those good moments. Think about it. When you feel close to Allah, everything feels clear. You're more careful, more aware, more focused. You avoid things you know aren't good for you. You choose differently. But when that moment passes, your guard drops. You go back to normal, back to your habits, back to your routine. And in that normal, there are things slowly pulling you away. Not in a big obvious way, but in small, repeated ways. What you watch, what you listen to, what you scroll through, how you spend your time, all of it matters. Because Imaan is not something that stays strong on its own. It is affected by everything you allow into your life. Every small distraction, every unnecessary scroll, every moment where you know you shouldn't be doing something, but still do it. It leaves an impact, and you may not feel it immediately, but it builds. Until that strong feeling you had starts to fade. Another reason is inconsistency. Not in big actions, but in small ones. You have moments where you do a lot. You feel motivated, so you push yourself. You try to fix everything at once. You increase your bet. You try to change your habits quickly, and it feels good for a while, but then you can't maintain it because you went too hard, too fast. And when you fall back, you don't just go back to normal. You drop lower than before, and that drop feels worse because now you've experienced what it feels like to be close. So the distance feels heavier. Another hidden reason is something people rarely think about: your response after a drop. When your Imaan decreases, what do? Do you try to come back, or do you disconnect even more? Most people disconnect. They feel weak, so they stop trying. They feel distant, so they avoid things that remind them. They feel like they've messed up, so they give up temporarily. And that temporary distance becomes a longer one, because the more you step away, the harder it becomes to return. And this creates a cycle. You feel strong, then you slip, then you feel weak, then you step away, then you feel even more distant. And then when you finally try again, it feels harder than before, and you start thinking the problem is you. But it's not. The problem is the cycle you've fallen into. A cycle of rising, then dropping, then disconnecting instead of correcting. And until you break that cycle, it will keep repeating, no matter how many strong moments you have. Because strong moments alone don't build stable Imaan. Consistency does. Small, steady actions, not big temporary ones. And until you understand that, you will keep chasing highs and crashing right after. So now it's not just about why your Imaan drops. It's about what you do when it drops. Because that is where everything is decided. Not in your highest moments. Not when you feel motivated. Not when everything feels easy. But in your lowest moments. When your energy is gone. When your focus isn't there. When your heart feels distant. That is where most people lose everything. Because in that moment they make one decision. They disconnect. They stop trying. They tell themselves they will come back when they feel better. They wait for motivation. They wait for that strong feeling to return. But it doesn't. Because they walked away at the exact moment they needed to stay. And this is the mistake that keeps repeating. You treat Imaan like a feeling. Something that comes and goes. Something you follow when it's strong and ignore when it's weak. But Imaan is not built like that. It is built through consistency. Especially when you don't feel like it. And this is where it gets uncomfortable. Because now it's not about what you know. It's about what you're willing to do when it's hard. Think about your own pattern. When you feel close to Allah, you do more. You try harder. You feel motivated. But when that feeling disappears, your actions disappear with it. And that creates a gap. A gap between who you are when you feel strong and who you are when you don't. And that gap is dangerous because it means your actions are controlled by your feelings, not your commitment, and feelings are unstable. They change. They rise. They fall. If your actions follow them, you will always be unstable too. That is why you feel like you're going in circles. Because you are. You rise with your feelings, and you fall with them, without anything keeping you steady. And here's the truth most people avoid. You don't lose your Imaan in one moment. You lose it in the moments where you stop responding, where you know what you should do, but you don't do it, where you feel the distance, but you choose not to close it, where you tell yourself later, and later never comes. And over time, those small moments build up until your low state becomes your normal state and your high moments become rare. And that's when people start feeling stuck, not because they can't improve, but because they've trained themselves to stop responding during the most important moments. So ask yourself honestly, when your Imaan drops, what do you actually do? Do you fight to come back, or do you slowly drift further away? Because your answer to that question explains everything. It explains why the cycle keeps repeating. It explains why your progress doesn't last. It explains why you feel strong sometimes and completely empty other times. And until you change what you do in those low moments, nothing will change, no matter how many strong moments you experience. Because the real test is not when you feel close. It's what you do when you feel far. And that is where everything is decided. So if your Imaan keeps rising and falling, the goal is not to stop the drop completely, because that's not realistic. The goal is to stop the cycle from controlling you. And that starts with one simple shift. You stop depending on how you feel, and you start depending on what you do. Because feelings will always change. Some days you will feel motivated. Some days you won't. Some days your heart will feel soft. Some days it will feel distant. That will never fully go away. But your response can change, and that's where your control is. Instead of waiting to feel close to Allah, you act your way back to Him, even when it feels heavy. Even when it feels empty, even when it feels like it's not doing anything, because consistency builds what motivation cannot. Small actions, repeated daily, no matter how you feel, that is what stabilizes your Imaan. Not big bursts of effort, not emotional highs, but steady, quiet discipline. And this is where most people get it wrong. They try to fix everything at once. They go from doing very little to trying to do everything, and it works for a few days. Then they burn out, then they drop. And the cycle repeats. But the way out is simpler than that. You do less, but you do it consistently. One prayer with focus, one moment of remembrance, one small action you can actually maintain, even on your worst days. Because your worst days matter more than your best days. Anyone can do good when they feel strong. But what you do when you feel weak is what defines your direction. And once you stay consistent in those low moments, something starts to change. Your drops become lighter. Your distance becomes shorter. Your recovery becomes faster, and over time, your Imaan becomes more stable. Not perfect, but stable. And that's what you need, because stability keeps you moving forward, even when you don't feel it. And here's the most important part. When your Imaan drops, don't step away. Step closer, even if it feels unnatural, even if it feels forced, even if it feels like the last thing you want to do, because that is exactly when it matters the most. That is the moment that breaks the cycle. That is the moment that separates someone who keeps falling from someone who learns how to stand back up. So don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait to feel strong again. Don't wait for that perfect moment, because it may not come the way you expect. Start where you are, with what you have. right now. And if you feel something while hearing this, even a small push, don't ignore it. That is your chance. That is your moment. Act on it before it fades like the others. Before this becomes just another reminder you heard and forgot. Because one day, you'll wish you responded to a moment like this. So don't miss it. Not this time.